afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the period of July 19 to the 25th. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for July 19 to the 25th. Let's see what messages we have for what needs to be brought into balance for Aquarius for this period. Okay. Okay, get those so that you can sort of see them too. Okay, let's get started here with Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, it looks like for you, what really needs to be brought into balance this month or this week for the 19th to the 25th, it appears that it's really got to do with your sense of authority and your sense of independence. And you're wondering how to go forward in the new way, in the new world, in the new you, in something new, unfamiliar to you. You're wondering how you're going to navigate it. And you know that it's not going to be the way that you've done things in the past. That's the important part of this here. So we see the Emperor in reverse, and the truth behind it is the Eight of Cups in reverse. So that says to me that your whole sense of who you are as a leader, who you are as an authority, who are you as the sort of the masculine father figure, but with the authority of your own self, right? Not necessarily with others, but it might be. But really the Emperor, this is Aries energy, it's Mars energy. It's really this part of you that's your will. What are you willing and not willing to do and be a part of and lead and follow? But it has to do with your will. The concept really has to do with will. And you see it's in reverse, so it's a challenge for you. And the truth behind that challenge is that you're about to do something very unknown to you, something unfamiliar emotionally. So an emotional unknown situation is coming up for you, and you're wondering to yourself, how am I going to sort of be accountable in this situation? Or how am I going to proceed in this situation? What kind of will I exercise? Am I going to be willing or unwilling? Because that whole perspective can shift, your emotional presence in the situation. If you're not there willingly, then that brings in a whole bunch of other feelings of, obligation, for example. Whereas when you're involved in something willingly and you're a part of it because you genuinely want to be a part of it, authentically want to be a part of it, then it can take a whole other shape. It can look very different because there's passion behind that. There's drive behind that, right? So your willingness is really at the front here, and the process you're on to sort of understand this situation or experience that you're undergoing, we see the Five of Swords in reverse, which says that you're still challenged to see the truth behind something honestly before you can move forward. So there is still something here that you need to uncover the truth. And we see the Hierophant right here next door to this card, which serves as the guidance in terms of this whole reading. So in terms of this whole reading, it's really about seeking out the truth and maybe understanding something that had to do with a marriage or a spiritual lesson, or it may involve some harsh lesson that you learn because of documents and courts, and maybe a legality situation is being thrown at you. And in order to move forward and understand that situation, there's something that you need to understand with respect to your own sense of self, your judgment here. See, Five of Swords is that's Aquarius energy, which is you. So, you know, this is you understanding you, Aquarius, and there's something that you missed. It needs to be addressed because you're at the end of a cycle and about to start a new one. And this new one is going to be unfamiliar. It's going to be something that you haven't felt. It's going to be emotionally unfamiliar, but you are done with the path you're on. So it is time to start a new path. We see the 10 of Wands here as your action card. So that really says, you know, get those wands home, put them down, and understand that in order to keep ourselves evolving, we have to sort of let go of our creation. So here you are, you've created this one experience that you're closing out right now, and that chapter is going to close, and you need to understand the truth about it before you go into the next chapter, which is going to be very unfamiliar emotionally for you, Aquarius. But it looks like you are sort of in the midst of some truth discovery. It might be legal, it might have to do with a marriage, or it could just be spiritual truth. You could be understanding some universal truth, some spiritual truth about, you know, yourself and who you really are. And it might have to do with that being the journey, right? That could be the journey that you're heading into, is one that's very unfamiliar. And I mean, the fact that this is in reverse says that this is challenge. This is a challenge. So right now, Aquarius is having a challenge. Aquarius is being challenged to understand themselves in a new way. And it seems like it's because there's a truth that still hasn't been fully unpacked yet here, Aquarius. So let's get some clarification for you from the Oracle cards. Let's see here. Okay, so what guidance do we have for Aquarius from the Oracle deck? Okay, so fork in the road. Yeah, you definitely are at a fork in the road. This is new. You are about to walk down a new path, and you're sort of standing at that fork, and you've got to go forward. I mean, you've got three cards here that really suggest movement forward, with the 5 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. So it's just a matter of figuring out the direction. But, you know, inner peace, yes, Aquarius, that is what you are going to gain from this. There's going to be a sense of emotional peace that you achieve once you do step into this new path. But there is this truth here that needs to be understood. But you know what? This is all happening in divine timing. We see TikTok here. So that says to me, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling like it's too late, it's not. Time is just a point of reference that we use in the human world to understand things. But really, time is a concept that is far more complicated than that. So you're an eternal being. You can't run out of time. But at the same time, you know, this situation is unfolding now. That's how I'm interpreting this card for you, Aquarius, that yes, you're in a fork in the road, but very soon you're going to step into that path. And it looks like the thing that's going to help motivate your foot to move forward is understanding the truth behind something that was difficult mentally for you to accept. And it's like you need to accept that first, then you will step down this unfamiliar path with less resistance. And you need to channel some of that masculine energy. You are a masculine energy, Aquarius, air sign. So it's like you need to start making decisions, right? You see fork in the road and masculine energy. That says to me, become decisive. Make a decision, right? You're an eternal being, but this is happening now. This is happening now in the present moment. So something in the present is making you feel that drive, that will, that push, right? It's the combination of all of these cards actually sort of trying to get you onto the next marker, trying to get you to the next chapter. Now, just to add some more clarity to this, let's look at the Hierophant as the final guidance card. What does Aquarius need truth on? What is this truth? Oh, that's too many. Let's shuffle again. Too many cards. What does Aquarius need clarity on? Thank you. Okay, so 6 of Cups. So Aquarius needs clarity on something that happened in the past. Clarity on something. Something happened in the past. We have been seeing this for Aquarius for the readings for, I don't know, for a long time, since March at least. And there is something Aquarius needs to deal with. And it's clear here. It's an emotional experience that is from the past that Aquarius is not completely done figuring out yet, okay? The 6 of Cups is a Scorpio card, so you could have been dealing with a Scorpio. Something with a Scorpio might need to be resolved. But definitely this truth that you need to uncover in order to move forward has to do with something that went down in the past that was very emotional. Now, what about this 5 of Swords here? What is that combined? Thank you. We see the Ace of Cups. So the 5 of Swords, the Ace of Cups clarifying that really says that this was a time where your cup was open and ready to accept the beginning of something new. So it's almost like now you have to understand the ending. You have to understand the beginning and the ending, that they're one sometimes, Aquarius. And from this ending, you will start a new beginning. But in order to get to this new beginning, we need to face something honestly first. Something honest. Facing some, it's a truth that's difficult to face, but it looks like you're heading off into a new direction here. What is this 8 of Cups in reverse? 8 of Cups in reverse is being clarified by the 8 of Wands. So that says something in your imagination is pushing you. It's giving you that will and that drive. You are going for it. This is the ultimate green light in tarot, in the sense of, like, if your imagination is speaking to you, you are being given the green light to pursue whatever that is. You've just got to deal with this situation first. Now, this 10 of Wands that you're setting down, thank you, is being clarified by the Queen of Cups, which suggests to me, again, this is a very emotional situation where you're going to uncover your compassionate side, Aquarius. The Queen of Cups is the Cancer energy. So there could be a very prominent Cancer person featuring in your next phase. It's very interesting though, because to me that says that not only are you stepping into another chapter, but it's going to be an emotional chapter. And that is consistent with this 8 of Cups as well. So it's almost like you're putting your wands down and you're picking up your cups again. Maybe because it's time to revisit whatever this emotional lesson was, because you're about to start a new emotional process and you need to learn all of the lessons from the one that just closed out before you start a new one. Makes sense, right, Aquarius? Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me. If this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email's in the description below. And thank you so much for your likes and subscription to the channel. And we'll see you again very soon for the next reading. Okay, lots of love and light.